Hello and welcome to another video of Eternal Gains. This is the channel where I show you how to grow your stack in the most sustainable and most safe way. Now, today we're going to have a sneak peek on Tectonic because it just so happened that I was whitelisted for the Alpha Launch. Okay, so what is the Alpha Launch? If we come over here to their Medium article, Tectonic Alpha Launch, then you will see they ran basically a raffle a few weeks ago where you could sign up and whitelist your wallet to participate in this Alpha Launch. What they want you to do is basically test their platform and give them feedback, and so they can basically get rid of any bugs if there are any before the launch and the airdrop. If you don't know what Tectonic Alpha is, Tectonic, then just check out my other video on Tectonic and how you can get the airdrop, which is happening soon. Okay, let's get started. So first thing, they tell you, okay, the dates from when to when. Perfect, starting 15th of December, which is today, between these times, and ends basically when the mainnet launches, which is approximately 4th week of December, so also not too far away. Okay, now let's get down here. The first thing what they want you to do is basically really just test out their platform, and you can get $50 worth of tonic. Of course, you only get this, you only can do this if you are whitelisted for the Alpha Launch. If not, then you can come with me on this journey and have a look inside Tectonic and get some exclusive views. So the first thing what we're going to do is this one right here. So we have to supply some asset, we have to borrow some asset, and then we have to repay our asset and then withdraw our initial collateral. Okay. Now this should be fairly simple. If we come over here to tectonic.finance, this is their website. Then we want to enter the app. As always, let's get into the app. It's fresh, just launched. We are here exclusively part of this Alpha Launch, which is pretty cool. So let's load this sucker here. And then we can see what we can do. Okay, this looks already pretty decent. Now, Tectonic is basically a borrowing and lending platform for now. So you can borrow, you can lend, you get paid to borrow, you get paid to lend. Depends obviously on the APIs right here. So let's go with USDC. Okay, let's connect our wallet first of all. By the way, this whole operation here is on the Kronos chain. If you don't know how to get your funds onto Kronos, I have a video on that as well. Just come to my channel and search for swap to any chain. Okay, let's get started. Now we have different pools right here for borrowing and lending. You see the utilization rate. Of course, it's very low right now because it's just alpha and there's not too many capital on here right now. So let's go to USDC and let's have a look how this looks. Okay, definitely excited. I'm definitely excited. Let's see what they came up with. Okay. As I said already in another video, right now I have some issues with my internet, so it's a little bit slow and sometimes a little bit unreliable. And as you can see here, the loading process takes quite a while. This should be much faster. Let's give it a good old refresh and see if this might help us a little bit. Okay, website is loading again. Just bear with me here. We eventually will get there. All right, so we are here on the USDC pool. And what we can do here is, as you can see, supply collateral and borrow collateral. So what you want to do is, first of all, supply some collateral. So we have to enable this market, which is basically the approve process. Let's do that. Okay, we approve that. And now just give it a few seconds to go through. Kronos chain, by the way, is also fairly fast, usual, and also fairly cheap to do transactions on. So this is one of the advantages. One little downside, I would say, of Kronos chain is that it is basically a centralized chain because it is the chain of crypto.com. So it's similar to the Binance chain, so that basically one entity more or less controls the chain. That's not ideal, but in this case, I think it's fine, and we just roll with it. So now we supplied it, and now we can supply it because we approved it. Let's go on supply. Let's apply the max, supply the max, $111 right here. There you go. Oh, that's actually pretty pricey. 1.3 Crow. This is pretty pricey, I have to say. Okay. Either way, let's go with it. I mean, keep in mind, it's still alpha, which means things like high gas costs or stuff like that might get fixed in the future. And this is exactly what this whole thing is about, right? So we can give them feedback and tell them what they could do better. Now I supplied my USDC right now. As you can see here, it changed. Total supply just changed a little bit because I put my money, but if we are coming over, okay, it's not displayed here. I'm doing this for the first time as well, by the way, guys. So this is exclusive and absolutely first look here, okay? So either way, what is important is that we can borrow anything against our USDC. Of course, we have to enable it as collateral, use as collateral. Of course, we want to do that because otherwise we cannot, you know, do anything else here. So we're using our USDC now as collateral. Let's give this a few seconds as well to go through. All right, transaction confirmed. Brilliant. Now, as you can see, current supply 111, daily earnings in this case 0%. You use as collateral, okay. And now we can come back to the markets. Let's come back to the markets and borrow something against our collateral, because this is where the fun part comes in, basically. All right, now we are back on the markets, and we would like to borrow some Ethereum against our USDC. So as you can see now, you borrowed 0. Borrow limit is $88. Why? I supplied 111, right? Why only 88? This is simply basically for them to, it's called over collateralization, which means you cannot borrow 100% of what you posted. It's always going to be a little bit less than that. Simply, if they would need to liquidate your position, and then they have sort of a little buffer here to make sure that they definitely get their money back, okay? Now let's try that right here. Let's go on borrow. And let's borrow the max amount, which would be 0.0. I think this is fine, 0.02. You see my borrowed balance goes from 0 to 76, and my current loan value goes from 0 to 68%. Loan to value ratio, okay? Liquidation threshold, 80%, that's what I said, so you get a little bit less than what you are basically posted on collateral. Okay, let's go on borrow. Let's see how much this costs us. Ooh, 2.9. Okay, this is really pricey, to be honest. You can even see I have insufficient funds. I put just a little bit of Crow on this wallet. And as you can see, it is not enough. 2.9 Crow for a transaction is, I must say, pretty pricey. I mean, this is definitely something I will give them as a feedback, that the transaction costs are too high. I mean, this is really high, because at the end of the day, you have to see all these fees which are occurring here. You will have to take into account when you calculate your profit and loss and something like that, right? You have first the fees for borrowing and for lending, or sometimes you even get paid for it. It depends. But then you always have to take into account the fees here. Now, one trick what you could try is we could just lower the gas price, what you are willing to pay. Let's go down. 3,000 is 1.3 still. 2,000, 0.9. Okay, but still insufficient funds. Let's see how many funds we have on here. Oh, 0.47. Okay. I will just go ahead and transfer a little bit more CRO onto this address, and then we will continue from there. Okay, I just put some funds here on this address, and now we are good to continue. Okay, so let's go ahead and borrow some assets. Let's do the max, because I mean, it's for testing reasons right here. Okay, so we get 0.02 ETH for our posted capital. Now, still, I think it's pretty high. I will just try what happens if we're gonna do a lower gas fee. Let's do 2,000 instead, okay? Let's see what's happening, if it goes through or not. Transaction failed. Okay, interesting. So this is not working. Welcome in the life of an alpha tester. Let's see. Let's do, let's lower it again, but this time a little bit more. Let's go ahead and let's try 4,000. I mean, it's not much less, but let's see if it does it or not. Transaction failed again. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like we will have to swallow this fee. There's no way around it. Let's go ahead and do it. So now we take the original suggested amount right here, and you see transaction is pending. So there's no way that you can lower the gas in this case. That's definitely a note what I will forward. Let's wait for this transaction to finish. And there you go, confirmed. Okay. Now we borrowed WETH, okay, ETH. Now let's see, let's come over here to the dashboard. As I said, I'm doing this here really with you guys for the first time live. I didn't do it before, so bear with me. Now on the dashboard, we have actually a nice overview right here. You see my total supply, my borrowed balance, net APY. That's actually pretty cool. So they show you right now I will have to pay 2.47% for this supply and borrow action. That's actually pretty cool that they show you your net APY here. Then we have, yeah, my total, what was this one here? Borrowed LTV, current LTV ratio is calculated by dividing the amount borrowed by the collateral. Okay, there you go. Okay. You have liquidation threshold, 80%. And it tells me I would have another $88 to borrow. I'm not too sure if this is correct, because I already borrowed $76. I don't think I can borrow another $80 worth of assets. I mean, let's try. Why not? Let's see. And you see, nope, I can't. My balance would go from 76 to 79, the borrow balance, which means I could borrow another $3 basically. So this is not correct what we are seeing here. Okay, interesting. Now what we have to do is, if you come to this article, you see Sam supplies 0.5 ETH, borrows 100 of USDC, and then repays 100 of USDC and withdraws the initial 0.5. So let's do that. We have to repay our loan first, of course. Let's go ahead and go on repay. Now, again, we have to basically approve that they can spend our ETH. You see, this is like a realistic gas price right here, 0.23. I mean, this is okay. The other one was 2 point something. I mean, it's 10 times. It's a bit too much, I think. But as I said, these things can be fixed during this alpha period. Let's go ahead. I approved it. Now let's go ahead and repay. Let's repay the max amount. Since I didn't spend anything, I still have the same amount, and you can see that my borrow balance goes from 76 down to 0, because obviously then I didn't have borrowed anything. So, okay, 0.99. Let's go ahead. By the way, 1 crow right now is around 50 cents. So it's definitely more expensive than Phantom or Avalanche, for example. But of course, way, way cheaper than Ethereum still. So we're paying right now between like $2 and like, yeah, around, 40, 50 cents or something per transaction. Now we repaid the loan, okay, balance 0. And now we want to withdraw our initial collateral. So 111, this is exactly what we posted. Let's withdraw that. And you see 1.8 again. So this is almost $2. It's not exactly cheap for a layer 1, but for the sake of testing, we're going to roll with it. Okay. So we withdrew our funds. Just give it a second to go through. There you go. And now we are back to 0 supply and 0 borrow. Yeah, so far it looks like a normal borrow and lending platform. Everything seems to work fine, except of the high fees and also the issue right here that that this is not correctly displayed. But apart from that, it looks pretty decent. Now we have done this first task right here. Now there is a second task what you could do to get one of these NFTs. Actually, only they give out one of those NFTs for everybody who is doing the second task, and then they give out one more NFT for the person who basically prepares the best feedback. Okay. So to get this NFT, what we have to do, users have to supply at least $100 worth of any asset and borrow at least $50 worth of any asset at the point of the eligibility for raffle. Okay, so basically we have to do the whole thing again. Okay, let's go ahead, supply the $100 again. Okay. Okay, 0.89, that's okay. And now the difference is this time we don't want to withdraw the funds. This time we just want to leave them in there. That's exactly what we're going to do. Let's just wait for that. Transaction failed. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's do this again. Let's see, how's the balance here? 4.9. Okay, it's fine. Let's try it again. Supply. But it's exactly why they are doing this alpha launch, because they want people to play around with the platform and figure out basically those kind of issues. Now you saw already that the gas price is much higher compared to before. Before it was 0.89, now it was 1 point something. So it could be that basically the gas price just in a second when we sent our transaction increased, and therefore basically we were not able to get our transaction through. I think that's what happened. So it's not actually had nothing to do with the platform. And now we have to borrow at least $50 worth of assets. Let's do this. 0.15. There you go. Would be 57. Let's borrow this and see what the gas price is saying. 1.9. Okay. So the borrowing looks like to be by far the most expensive in this operation. But in this case, we kind of get, refunded for that, because we get the $50 worth of Tectonic, which will more than cover the gas what I now spent to do the whole thing. So now basically all I need to do for this alpha test is I leave my assets in here until this alpha launch phase is finished. And at the end, I get for sure my $50 worth of Tectonic. What is the name of the token? I don't remember. Tonic, I think. And then if I'm really, really lucky, then I might also get the NFT. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little exclusive tour onto Tectonic, onto the Alpha Lounge. You see how something like this works. If you have any question, obviously put them in the comments. If you like the video, I would really appreciate if you leave me a like, share it out with your friends. Have a nice day and see you in the next one.